In most cases, the 4-wheel drive fault service required warning in your Ford car shows just a minor software or electric glitch. But anyway, I strongly recommend you stop the vehicle and turn the engine off to avoid serious damage. Now, let's look at the reasons, because some of them are actually easy to locate and even fix on your own. First of all, it may be a software glitch. Some wheels slipped a little and all-wheel drive system got a little crazy in your Ford, so it threw this message. After you turn the car off for several minutes and then turn it on again, the problem will disappear. If it doesn't reappear within the next 30 minutes or so, consider yourself lucky. You don't need to invest in any repairs. If it's a hardware problem, it will most likely reappear when you continue driving. Then there is a very specific problem with the half-shaft sensor in many all-wheel drive Ford vehicles. The problem was noticed in the 2012 model year and wasn't solved by Ford for many years. The bad news is that you won't be able to check this problem unless you have a very good scanner that is compatible with your Ford. So professional help will be a good choice. Also, the problem may appear because of the wiring problems, especially if your Ford has a lot of miles on it. Wiring has never been perfect in Ford cars, but again, checking wiring issues and finding a corroded connection is certainly not the thing you can do on your own, unless you are a car mechanic. There is one more thing to check, and it's the transmission fluid level. I've seen more than once Ford cars throw in this warning when the transmission fluid was low and the all-wheel drive system registered some anomalies in its work. It's not that easy to check transmission fluid level in the majority of modern transmissions. Ask your mechanic to do that prior to doing any other inspections. Now, it's not so common, but originally this message was meant to pop up when the all-wheel drive systems are overheated. There are no actual temperature sensors in differentials in Ford cars, so if the system registers potential slipping of clutches in the differential, it can also throw this 4-wheel drive fault service required warning. But there is one catch. If you are off-roading or driving on a slippery road or in mud, the wheels will spin at different speeds and slip sometimes, so the warning may wrongly appear on the dash for several seconds. If you're driving in harsh conditions and suddenly see this warning, my advice is to stop the car for 10 or 15 minutes to let the all-wheel drive systems cool down a bit. And then you can start the car and try driving further, but if the problem reappears after that, you should avoid driving. I have an article on my blog about this issue and I will link it in the description. You may read the article for more details. So what exactly can you do to solve the problem? You can turn the car off and then on. If it doesn't work, turn it off and let it cool down for 10 or 15 minutes. If the message reappears, you may consider disconnecting the battery for 5 minutes to let the control modules reset. Alternatively, you may get a scanner and try to read the codes in various control modules. Very often this all-wheel drive warning is not alone, and the computers will store more codes that will help you find the initial problem. If nothing helps you, please don't ignore the problem, because it may be something with the hardware and your differential is at risk of damage.